Greetings, this is narrator. Welcome back to my channel. Now, throughout nearly 9 years, I read many different novels from many different genres. I like trying something new, but these are the genres that I don't read for various different reasons. Maybe I tried a few books from the genre and I didn't like them, or probably the genre wasn't appealing to me in the first place. And other genres I simply forgot about their existence. Now here are genres that I don't read. Okay, here's number one genre that I don't read. Young adult. You might think that I stay away from the genre because I have outgrown it, but that's not quite the case, because I avoided young adult genre even back when I was the target audience. That was around 10 years ago. Now, don't get me wrong, this doesn't mean that I didn't read or enjoy young adults. I read Twilight and The Host by the same author. I read The Perks of Being a Wallflower, The Maze Runner, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, a few John Green novels, and the first Percy Jackson book. Well, apart from Twilight books and The Host, I own all of the books that I have mentioned. I don't own all 5 Percy Jackson novels, I only own the first one, and I don't intend to read the next 4, at least for now. Maybe one day. Most young adult novels follow the same formula, and that makes the genre kinda predictable. The authors could have played with the cliché or avoided it, but they choose not to. And also one young adult series that I have read, I forgot to mention that, and it's totally worthy, the REUPLOADED trilogy by German author Kirsten Gier. Yes, I loved it when I read it. It's quite an easy read, and I would love to read it again, even though it was kinda cheesy. I don't know, dear readers, maybe I am biased, maybe, but even if I wasn't biased, I still don't find young adult genre that appealing. One young adult novel that I am willing to give a chance to is A Good Girl's Guide to Mordor. I liked the description and the cover. I do want to point out that young adult genre involves many different genres. There is young adult fantasy, there is young adult crime, and so on. However, you can distinguish young adult from other genres, no matter the subgenre of young adult, be it fantasy or crime or sci-fi and so on. The priorities of teens are put forward, or at least how priorities of teens are interpreted by the authors. Number 2, historical fiction. Until 2021, I even forgot that historical fiction existed. I do have one historical fiction novel named The Girl King by Meg Clothier, but I don't want to read it anymore. I think I should unhaul it. When I was younger, they often told me, "Why would you read fantasy when you can read historical fiction? Why wouldn't you read something real?" The deal is that I went through 6 years of university, and I got exposed to something real. I mean, to real history. And if I wanted to read something real, I would go through my old textbooks, and I would go to check some documentaries and non-fiction, or read lyrics to Sabaton songs. So that's no excuse. Like I said, until 2021 I mostly ignored historical fiction. I forgot it existed. But then I was watching Bookspace channel, and the one historical fiction series that she promoted to me was Accursed Kings by Maurice Druon. I read the first book, The Iron King, and I liked it very much. I'd love to own all 7 books one day. I'd love to read them. I heard that George R.R. Martin has praised Accursed Kings, and he has said that this series had a strong influence on A Song of Ice and Fire. Even the Russian edition of the books state that if you like Game of Thrones, you would love Accursed Kings. But other than Accursed Kings, I have no interest in historical fiction. And it's simply not that interesting to me. Sorry, historical fiction fans out there. I didn't mean to offend you. Number 3 is poetry. A poet is a musician that can't sing. That's a line from The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. On a serious note, I have nothing against poetry. I read two epic poems, Faust and Paradise Lost, and I also have the Iliad and the Divine Comedy. And also back when I was at school, I studied Russian poetry, Pushkin and Lermontov. Apart from these four poems, I also have the Lay of Leithian from Baron and Luthien, and literally every single poem that Tolkien wrote. Apart from all of these, I have zero interest in poetry. I just don't find it appealing. Can I have metal lyrics instead? They are more appealing to me. Number 4 is self-help. Absolute no. Out of all genres that I mention in this video, this is the genre I'm going to avoid at all costs. Self-help is not simply not my thing. Absolutely big no. No. That's a big turn off for me. The vast majority of these self-help books are written by people who are kinda out of touch with the majority of people. And it's probably an unpopular opinion of mine, but I just don't understand why people give these luxurious people so much attention and they study from them. If one day I'm going to need to help myself, I'd Google what I need, or I'm going to pick up a textbook and learn a new skill. For example, I'm going to pick up a German textbook and learn German. That's a true self-help book for me, because you have some skills after the textbook. Number 4, comics. Well, at least I don't read Marvel or DC comics. The deal is that Marvel and DC comics, they have a lot of arcs. They are retconned all the time, and I can easily get lost in them. Also, I absolutely dislike that a lot of comics are physically too big, and I'm not a huge fan of artworks, especially in DC comics. For some reason, writers think that if the artwork in the comics is dark, then it's more mature. I disagree on that. I prefer comics like The Walking Dead. Yes, black and white comics, I get that, but The Walking Dead is appealing to me because it's a straightforward comics without all the retconned arcs. There's only one arc, and I like that. The design also is very cool. Unlike many other genres that I mentioned in this video, comics I would love to get into if I find the right one. I own Scott Pilgrim, and also I own Gravity Falls graphic novels. And I also wish that a lot of comics, they resembled Scott Pilgrim in terms of design. Let me show you. Here, this is the first book in the Scott Pilgrim series. I like how the book is designed. It's designed like an ordinary book. It's not too big, and the art is very beautiful. And the story itself is kinda cool. Number 5, romance. No explanation needed. In the past I read a few Jojo Moyes books and I liked them. And I also read Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Well, I kept Wuthering Heights, and the Jojo Moyes novels I gave away. That's all. Number 6, non-fiction. In fairness, the word non-fiction has a broad definition. Biographies are non-fiction, autobiographies are non-fiction, essays are non-fiction, and I actually like these. Essay I have on Fairy Stories by J.R.R. Tolkien. Biographies I have biographies of Freddie Mercury and Ozzy Osbourne. And also philosophy counts as non-fiction, and I have a few philosophical books, for example, Thus Spake Zarathustra by Friedrich Nietzsche, and A Criticism of Pure Reason by Immanuel Kant. In short, a good biography, autobiography, essay and philosophy is good for me. And I also don't mind history, but the rest, totally not for me. And number 7 and final point is fiction that deals with specific issues. There are books that revolve around the specific issues, and I'm not talking about books that simply portray them. No, I'm talking about books that make these issues the main focus and even use these issues as the main marketing strategy. Excuse me, no, sorry. I'd rather read a book and have these issues to be a part of the story rather than the main focus. And I don't want to pick up a book that says it deals with the issues of well, you got the point. And that's all. These are the 7 genres that I don't read. I'm not saying that I'm not going to read at least one book, at least from one of these genres ever again. I'm not shying away, except for self-help. However, I am not interested in them at all. I'd rather spend my time with books that bring me joy, because that's the point of nearly every book, to bring joy and uplift. And that's all. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment and follow me on social media. Link to my Linktree is down in the description. There is also a link to Amazon where you can buy my debut novel, Nightingale Divine. See you next time. Goodbye.